Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
When I homeschooled my children, we loved the years of the Summer Olympics. We hosted our own small version of the Olympics at our home. We'd have silly games anyone could win, like blowing a leaf across the patio or shot putting a cotton ball. We even had team sports like sibling three-legged races or wheelbarrow races. We made several new friends, and I learned a lot about my children. In our first Olympics, my daughter ran in a race which her shoe fell off. But instead of plunking down in the grass and crying, "That's not fair," she kept going and got second in the race. She even laughed as she walked back to collect her shoe. At the end, when we handed out medals, I didn't even realize my son was the only kid who'd gotten no medals because he'd been so busy clapping for the other kids. So I ended up giving him a gold medal for the best attitude. At the end of the Olympics, I shared the story of Eric Liddell, of Chariots of Fire fame. In case you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend it. Before the 1924 Paris Olympics began, Eric Liddell found out that the qualifying heat for his event, the 100-meter race, would be held on a Sunday. Due to his convictions that Sunday was the Lord's Day, he refused to run. Instead, he entered the 400-meter, and not only did he win a gold medal, but he set an Olympic record. When asked how he did it, Liddell replied, "The secret to my success over the 400-meter is that I run the first 200 meters as fast as I can. Then, for the second 200 meters, with God's help, I run faster." It sounds like Eric Liddell studied 1 Corinthians 9:24-27. Let me read it to you. "Don't you realize that in a race, everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win. All athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away, but we do it for an eternal prize. So I run with purpose in every step. I'm not just shadowboxing. I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I might myself be disqualified." For Eric Liddell's first 200 meters of life, he ran his fastest, learned discipline, and when to stand up for what he believed. He ran with a purpose. At one point he said, "God made me fast, and when I run, I feel His pleasure." But the next 200 meters, the second half of his life, he ran with purpose and integrity as well. Though the movie didn't show what happened to Eric Liddell, we know that he returned to China where he'd been born to missionary parents. There he invested his life in sharing the gospel and growing God's kingdom. He died there in a Japanese internment camp toward the end of World War II. As I shared this story with those who attended our first backyard Olympics, one of the moms spoke up. She said her grandfather had been saved as a result of Eric Liddell's ministry. He later escaped to Taiwan and helped establish a church there, where most of her family still lives. Because Eric ran his first half of his race with all his might, uncompromising in his beliefs, God gave him international glory. But then that last half of the race, as he said, he ran faster with God's help. The Lord gave him eternal glory, which still increases every day. That's the kind of race we want to run. Now let's go over 1 Corinthians 9:24-27 again. Are we running to win, or do we give up when things get hard? How could we be more disciplined in our training? How could we run each day with purpose? One more thing about Eric Liddell's running. He didn't look like a normal track runner. He was called the ugliest runner who ever won an Olympic championship. People actually laughed at his running style, head thrown back, mouth open, arms flailing. But no one could say he didn't give it his all. And though he didn't have his eyes on the track like most runners would, he knew where to look for his strength. He looked up. As Hebrews 12:1-2 tells us, We should run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith.
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thank you for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.